everyone, thank you for joining me today for another Illustrator tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I made this typography project using the type tool, the knife tool, and the live paint tool. First, I am going to lock this and I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to start a new layer. And then I'm going to bring up my type tool, hotkey T, and I'm going to type out nice people are nice. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Align tool, and if you can't find that, that's under Window, Align. And I am going to adjust this so that it will align to the artboard, which it's already on, and I'm going to have it align to the center and align to the center. And actually, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and then I'll realign. Alright, and so to make this editable so I can use the knife tool and the live paint tool on it, I am going to select it, and then I'm going to go to Type, Create Outlines. So what this does is it creates outlines so that everything within the paths are a fill, and then I can edit them. And as you can see, there are some little paths intersecting with each other, and I don't really want that, so what I'm going to do is under your Align tool, you have another tab, the Pathfinder tool, and again, if you can't find that, go to Window, Pathfinder, and it should pop up for you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to unite these so that it's all one object, and all those little paths will go away. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the knife tool is I'm going to look for places on here that can be highlights and lowlights, and so basically, pretend I have a light shining on this from up here. I'm going to have the highlights on the top, the lowlights on the bottom. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to select my object, select the knife tool. So what I did is I went to my eraser tool, held down, and then I pushed on this little arrow, and that little pop-up came up, just so that I can access it easily. So how the knife tool works is it creates paths within an object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this point, and I'm going to bring it to this point, and it'll create a path here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my path, and there you go. That's where I'm going to have a highlight. And then I kind of want a low light over here. And I'm just going to continue to do this for the whole thing. And then what I'm going to do here, because there's this opening here, so when I use the live paint bucket tool, it's going to affect all of this. I'm going to create one more little stroke there. So again, for this A, if I fill this whole thing, it's going to fill all of this up and over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another little path there, and another little path there. Alright, so I have created all of the paths that I want. And what I'm going to do first, so I don't have to live paint bucket tool everything, is I'm going to select a color that I like. And I like kind of a cyan. I like this. I like blue. I like blue. And if I wanted it to be the exact color of the other one, I could use my eyedropper tool to get the exact color. But since you guys don't have that, I'm just going to go with it. Okay, so now that we have all of our paths, we have our base color we want, I'm going to select this, and to use the live paint bucket tool, you have to go to Object, Live Paint, Make. And then I will go to my live paint bucket tool, and I'm going to start with the lowlights. So I'm going to select a color that is a little darker. I'm just going to bring this in a little bit, make my color a little darker. Alright, and then wherever it highlights, that is the path that it's going to affect. So I'm going to click there, there. Here we go. Making the lowlights. clicking, clicking. It's a pretty quick process once you've figured it out. Oh, see, I forgot to make one there, but I can go back and adjust that when I'm done with this. Actually, I think that could probably be a little low light. It's getting covered by the N. Okay, so this is what it looks like with those pretty low lights in there. So I forgot to make another little spot there. So what I'm going to do is actually to add that little thing in, I'm going to go to Object, Live Paint, Expand, and then I will go with my knife tool and just remake that really quickly. And we'll put it over here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Object, Live Paint, Make, and then K. We'll bring out my paint bucket tool. There we go. So that's what it looks like with the lowlights. It's already looking a lot more dynamic and interesting. Illustrator is so fun. I swear to God, I love this thing. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my original color. So let's see, eyedropper. I believe if you click on the eyedropper, it should bring it up with your live paint bucket tool. So let's see what happens when I do that. Looks like it did. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to make this a little lighter. Little lighter. Okay. Yes. Perfect. And this is a great technique that you can use for highlighting character faces, or like I use this a lot when I'm creating backgrounds. Dynamic. Woo! See, the paint bucket tool is pretty slick, because then you don't have to like use your direct selection tool and select all the things you want. Or maybe you could. Or you could use your magic wand tool and it'd probably be just as fast. But there you go. We made a slick little typography project that was pretty quick using the type tool, the knife tool, and the live paint bucket tool. And there you go. We have our beautiful typography project that looks a little bit more dynamic and interesting with some highlights and lowlights. If you have any questions or specific tools that you want videos on, please leave those in the comments below, and I'll see you next week.